You don't have to worry about any roster moves with the Pirates because, well, there's a lockout right now. MLB work stoppage, first time. Now, they've got 11 weeks until pitchers and catchers, so they'll probably figure this out. This is the first time since 1995. It's like 26 years of labor peace. Now, there's no signings, there's no winter meetings, there's no workouts at the facility. I don't know who in their right mind would buy tickets. A lot of the ticket offices aren't open probably, considering they don't know what the stability is of these teams right now.
They still got a link online where you can buy them if you want.
Yeah, and I don't know. But people, like I said,
No,
I don't know which consumer would do that right now. Now, they're saying one of the big contentions is when they tear down a team, the old guys get shuttled out for new guys who work for cheaper. Well, I mean, it's like that in all businesses a lot of times. And the players, they say that's just not good enough. And that's part of the impasse here. And the owner said, okay, fine, we're not going to agree on anything. You're not allowed in the facilities. We're going to lock you out. This stoppage needs to be a rebuild and probably for a lot of people, a salary cap and a salary floor, or else nothing's truly going to get fixed. I think that's how a lot of people feel.
But let me throw this back in your direction. I agree with you. How confident are we in that actually getting done?
Oh, it won't.
Yeah.
It won't.
You can see already that they had, 1 7-minute meeting yesterday, right? So we're immediately right back to the
Brian Kelly was in charge of this negotiation.
It immediately feels like we're right back to the pettiness level that we were during the 2020 temporary CBA negotiations that took until the end of June to finalize, to get 60 games in. So I just don't understand why they don't see it in their best interest, both sides, to reduce the gap between rich and poor, and I mean players as well as teams, to level the playing field, and also find an effective measure for, if you don't want teams to tank, find an effective measure for keeping it from happening. Now, it sounds like a draft lottery is one legitimate idea that's being kicked around, which may help keep teams, from constantly being in rebuild mode.
There also need to be trades of draft picks.
Trades of draft picks is a great idea for opening things up around the draft. And then let's institute. This needs to get to where the NHL was, remember, back in like 2004, when they finally said, hey, listen, financially, we can't make this work anymore. The Red Wings spend $200 million a year. Everybody else is spending, some teams are spending $30 million a year. This needs to get to a hard floor and a hard cap. You do that, then you will legitimately look, there are still going to be teams that will pull the Ottawa Senators, to continue the NHL analogy, and only do what they have to do to spend to the floor.
I'm not confident that this team here will spend to the cap.
No, I know they won't.
Right.
They will spend to the floor. And look, fine. At the very least, we've then identified, okay, these are the teams that will only do the bare minimum, and these are the teams that will always do everything they can. But at the very least, we've tried to level things a little bit.
They're within confines of walls.
Right.
And I think it exposes the owners even more that aren't doing that. And the heat would even be pushed on them more when you know that they're all painted into a box.
This would be a great time for those small market owners that cry poor mouth all the time to stand up and say, hey, fix the system for us so we can compete. I haven't heard anybody do that.
And that was something that we brought up to Bob Nutting when we talked to him. Said, okay, it's one thing to say you're going to do. Who's going to go to bat, or who's going to say this needs to be fixed?
And he said he would be more vocal, didn't he?
Yeah, and where is it?
I haven't heard it.
This is the worst time for this to happen in a market like this. Or some will say it's the best time. And I'm trying to knock that around because there's already a low point where people, I think, are of interest. And they're like, what the hell?
To bring it back around, if I had any genuine belief that they would actually tear it down to the studs and get to a working financial model, I would agree with you, Colin. This is the best time to do it. I have zero confidence that that's going to happen. We're going to look up come middle of February, late February, when they finally feel hard-pressed to get something done, and we're going to end up having a system that has a few tweaks here and there, like the draft lottery, or
you can't shuttle
off
38-year-olds for a 21-year-old.
Right. We'll see a younger arbitration or free agency age or things like that, but they won't overhaul the whole system and fix the entire thing.
No, they won't. Because
too many people making too much money.
Right now, as it's currently constructed.